It's top of the hour. Good morning. And it's time for Making a Difference. I'm your host, CJ Metcalfe. And on this show, we like to interview people in our community that are making a difference in other people's lives. So that can bring you a whole array of things. For those of you watching on the internet, you'll notice that my hat is a little bit smaller than what I normally wear. Well, with this heat wave that has been going across the country, it has shriveled up a lot of things, including my hats. But this one is Remember Our Veterans, and I do love to wear this hat. So, our guest today, this is going to be interesting. This is a new venture, shall I say, dealing with military veterans and their families. And we're going to bring she's a life coach, and she's going to start offering seminars in regards to um, subject matter that matters to you, about what you've had to adjust to, any adjustments, any problems you're having, benefits. Where can you go for this? Where can you go for that? What are you qualified for? Any mental issues that you've had because of the military. I I think Walmart ought to offer something like that from shopping in their stores, but did I say that? I did. So anyway, she has some events coming up, and she's going to want to talk to you about what this what you're going to get out of attending these events. And of course, one of them's going to be at the Military Heritage Museum. You know, that's my favorite place. So without further ado, her name is Vanessa Donaldson. And Vanessa, come into the show.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me, CJ, today. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
Vanessa Donaldson, life coach for military spouses and also digital nomads, because we can talk about that, the van life, the boat life. We do a lot of moving around once you get out of the military. It's the
Get
new normal.
creative too. Well, first off, let's talk about life coaching. Let's describe what that is and what your goal is to do.
Okay. So, yeah, life coaching is not therapy with a psychologist or psychiatrist. People kind of blend them together sometimes. If you've got real trauma and past hurts that you're dealing with, you'll see a professional psychologist and they'll pretty much keep you in that pain, work through that pain, but you stay in that pain and you're just regurgitating it. When you get to the life coach side of it, it's all about getting through that pain, acknowledging it, recognizing it was there, recognizing something happened to you, and then what are you doing now in the present moment, focusing on the present, and then goals for your outcomes in the future. So where do you want to see yourself getting out of this, habit, a bad loop of a cycle of just bad transactions, bad ways of dealing with your family relations. So it's all about outcome based, results oriented, and that's where life coaching comes in. And since
And
I'm a military spouse, 25 years, this is my wheelhouse. I've lived with my Marine for 25 years, like you. You're a military spouse, Marine Corps. That's a whole other breed, too. So I've got some, two steps ahead from those younger ladies that are going through it right now that are still active duty. I want to come alongside them for sure.
how is it that you can impact the spouses and family with through life coaching?
So impacting families and spouses, basically, part of my little wallflower look here is we tend to go in the background sometimes. We've moved around with our husbands all over the globe. We've raised children through different foreign countries. We've moved every 2 to 3 years. We've changed schools, new friends, jobs, all that transition. So basically, a lot of that time, we become a little distant from our own identity. We become more like wallflowers. So this is a season for people and ladies that are questioning how can they make their living purpose in their next season. So get that wallflower off the wall, let her blossom. So that's what I'm doing. I'm helping military spouses blossom and find new identity in a different season. So where they were more of the support role for their spouse for years, just kind of managing the back scenes, managing everything so that the husband can focus on his job and deployments and all that stuff. they're now coming off the wall, peeling off. I've peeled off the wall, so I came a little quicker. Maybe everybody goes at their own pace. I'm kind of peeling off the wall. I'm in a new town in Port Charlotte. This is our little retirement spot now, and I've run into you. So yeah, I want to be able to share this and be available with other families. Children's dependents are kind of forgotten about. They have to move around from place to place, and no one's really asking how they're feeling and what they're doing. It's grab your socks, get your shoes on, roll your suitcase, get on the plane. And years later, they're like, you put them on a stage. It happened once when we were living in Hawaii, and they went around on the whole stage trying to introduce the new kids. Everybody coming back from summer school, and they hold that mic to my kids. And where are you from? And everybody's from some other spot in Hawaii. And my poor kids were like deer in the headlights. And where are you from? And they just sat there with the mic, and they looked out at me at the audience and said, just looking at me like, where are we from? And I'm just like, smile. I don't know where you're from. We move around. We're citizens of the world. So yeah, with all that experience, there's a lot of chaos. It's a chaotic lifestyle that people don't understand or know until they're living it. So you can't explain what a military spouse is till you live it. You can't explain really life coaching as much either. I can give you some tidbits, but you have to experience it. So like you mentioned before, topics would be like, for this category, your purpose in your life, identity, creating harmonious marriages and relationships using nonviolent communication skills, and focusing on those dependents too. So all those arrays will cover life coaching.
Okay, so now this, I have attended group sessions before, and a lot of times the VA is associated with them, or the DAV or someone like that. And you go in there and you're like, really? Now what you're offering is not attached to the VA in any way. This is an outside entity that you're creating for life after the military. Now, what qualifies you to be a life coach? I have no idea what that involves.
Yeah, a certification. So life coaches go through different schools. There's like International Certification Federation, ICF is popular. I personally went through Mind Valley and EverCoach. So there's different programs out there. And so all of them will have a different array of numbers of hours for coaching. I've been doing it for a while, so I've got 100+ hours on coaching. So everybody's at a different level, but we're also in my age group, having experience of just living in life. I'm sorry, that doesn't work with you. I can't use that statement. Well, yeah, in my 50s. So that's why you're my mentor. Everybody looks at somebody else 2 steps ahead. I look at you for guidance and mentorship. I'm kind of in the middle of the row. And then there's those active duty, beautiful little flower buds that are still sprouting and not quite blossoming that are on the other side of the active duty side. The reserve side too. I mean, it just goes on. And now we've got Space Force, which is a whole other world. I don't know if they get as much attention either.
Well, I know that you have a team that you work with. You want to talk about your fellow team members?
Yeah, it can vary with different military coaches that are coming through. So we've got some men that are veterans and that have had a whole testimonial. They'll tell you the story. If we do a webinar, they'll share their truth, and very authentic in our safe bubble and space where we can talk. And these guys have struggled. There's a big transition when you go from someone telling you what to do every day to the next day you have nothing on your calendar. No one's ordering you anywhere. You're just by yourself. Like, what am I going to do next? And it's almost overwhelming. We're so used to going wherever the military says. So there's these veterans that kind of fall off. I mean, one guy, he ended up almost homeless for a while, and he's getting himself back together. So there's different levels. There's female military veterans that maybe experienced, even trauma in the military, and they're just now coming to realize and process all that with their therapy. So different people, different seasons, but they're all coming together. And these webinars are basically a safe space where people can come and collectively talk and realize we're not alone. We're not meant to live in isolation, and we're not alone in our struggles. And we're there to support each other. So we have a resource list too that keeps growing. I've gotten a few great new resources by just networking and talking to people on LinkedIn, like another nonprofit that handles all kinds of testing for PTS without taking your name, information, without recording it to the VA, very anonymous, just through a Zoom. I mean, incredible stuff is going on. So I want to be a part of all that and share that with, anybody that's in need. We've got like what, 22 something suicides still a day for the veterans. And we don't want that. We don't want our vets, living under a bridge and thinking about taking their own life. So, this is what we do now. The military has been good to us. I always look at the glass half full, not half empty. It's kind of just my personality. And we want to give back in the small way that we can. So doing that, the best way first is just in the community you live in, getting out and meeting fellow military spouses and military families.
To give my listeners a little introduction to Vanessa and how she thinks, which is something that I really appreciate. I don't know if you caught it when she said PTS. Many of us know it as PTSD. Vanessa, explain why you call it PTS.
Yeah, maybe that's because I've worked for some military charities as well, doing grant writing and running events. So the word D for PTSD, post traumatic stress, D, disorder, it's like these guys don't want to go around thinking they have a disorder, or these women. They just want to get on with their lives and, look towards the future, enjoy their families. So that disorder work can kind of have a negative connotations. Maybe for some it does, maybe for some it doesn't. I know with you, there's another business that's PTS or something around here. So we do have to watch out
Oh,
about that in our
yeah,
area. Right?
the towing
Oh my
company.
gosh, yeah. So we're not, but you know what? We're towing each other out of, active duty life to civilian life. So there is kind of a towing involved. And it involves chains and latches and, two people and trucks and movement. So yeah, we are kind of a tow company for the military. That actually could work. So
That's
yes,
funny.
that's why I've been kind of trained conditioned not to say the D, PTSD, just post-traumatic stress, which we all have. People have it in different capacities, whether they're in the
Right,
military or
right,
not,
right,
trauma.
right.
So it just generalizes it a little more.
Okay, well, let's talk about okay, what Vanessa is doing. If you listen to her, she's fairly new to the area and starting this up from the experience that she has brought to our wonderful county with her. And to kick off her program and to give you a little taste of what she hopes to offer to veterans and their families is there is an event that she has planned, and it's following the line of life after the military, and it's presented by Vanessa. And she I don't know if her cohorts are in on that or not, but it's Tuesday, September 6th at 9:30 a.m. at the Military Heritage Museum, 900 West Marion Avenue in Punta Gorda. Now, I will tell you that pre-registration is required. There is a link that you can go to. I'll have it on my Facebook page under both Making a Difference and on the Veteran Committee page. Also, if any of you want to reach out to me at cjkdwradio@gmail.com, I'll be happy to email this to you, whatever, to get you the link. Now, the reason why you need to have this link is there is a $12 fee to attend this first group session, this initiation. And that'll include coffee and donuts in the P51 Club and an all-day pass to the museum, also a pass to this kickoff meeting. The function is called MAG, and it stands for Military Appreciation Group. And both spouses and veterans, family, are invited to this kickoff event to build on understanding of how adjustments and life after the military concerns family and soldiers alike. The setting will be casual and will offer much insight into helpful areas, connections, networking, and resolutions for veterans and their families. So the schedule is that 9:30 in the morning, you'll check in at the front reception desk and you'll give them your ticket from registering. And then you're welcome to just an open coffee time from 9:30 until 10 in the P51 Club, where we'll have free coffee and donuts for you. And then we'll move upstairs to the second floor library, and we will have a meeting from 10 until 11. Now, this event is hosted by Van Life Girl Coach LLC, which is Vanessa Donaldson, the one that you are listening to right now. And if you want to reach out to her, her email is also on this flyer. It is vanlifegirl@yahoo.com. So this will be the initial step off to what Vanessa is going to offer on down the road. So Vanessa, talk about what you expect to do at this first event, and then how you're going to follow up with these people and what you're going to offer as far as life coaching goes.
Absolutely. So what we expect at the event is, first of all, to build community, to get out of behind our homes and those garage doors that just open and close and keep the cold air inside. Get out and make connections. Be social. It's, when was the last time we just sat together without having to do something forced and just enjoy a coffee together, have a brunch together? So it's more of a creating that environment for a laid back community, just to be social, get to know each other, for like-minded people that have all gone through a similar experience. And for us, it was married to the military. So, I mean, I would joke that my husband was married to the military, and I was, the spouse until he retired, or not the spouse. I was the mistress. That's what I would call myself. He was married to the military, and I was the mistress. I just, pop in and out like, hey, oh, you're coming and going. And where are you going now? Where are you coming? So yeah, married to the military. They pretty much own these service members. And now we have that freedom of movement, freedom of no one telling us what to do, where to go. So thrive in that. Take everything that you learned and turn into a positive, and get to know people in your community. There's so many relationship building tools that we can apply. And it starts with just showing up. Anything that we do, how you save a life, to save someone from suicide, it's showing up. It's just showing up to something, showing up in person, being there, showing up on a phone call when somebody calls you. And that's one thing that triggers military too. People have let us down. Like when we say we're going to do something and be somewhere, like we just assume that's God's word, but not everybody thinks that way. So there's disappointments and hurts. So learning to navigate with that, but we want to be available and just see where it grows. Very organic, just show up all together. And this is co-created. This is not like a structured standard operating procedure booklet, SOP, that, I'm delivering. This is how we're running it. The beauty of this is it's co-created. Life coaching is not someone telling you what to do. It's guiding you with powerful questions and helping you explore what you want to do on your side, and having, basically being your cheerleader and spurring you on. So we're just creating that environment for a lot of co-creation to take place, so people can voice what they want to do, what's important to them. When do they want to connect? Do they want to do lunches? Do they want to go on activities together? Do they want to do some things with their spouses, some things separate? So it's women only, men only. This is all co-created, and I'm just so excited to see where it goes. And all of this is, again, possible because of CJ, and just hearing the community. She listens to people walking by her path. I hadn't even connected with her for a year or two, but I heard her name in the circles here when we first moved here. I think we're sitting at Applebee's having a veterans meal. We just got here. And another nice lady, I don't have her name on top of my head now, but I said, how do I get involved with the military community? And she said, I got someone for you. And she gave me his name and a phone number. And there we started with the texting. But, part of being the van life girl, the reason for the name is when COVID hit and we shut down our boating ministry in California, we bought a used Sprinter van just at the same time, rented a house out in California, and ended up camping and boondocking and going off to visit all of America for about 8 months. My husband had been deployed so many times. He never saw America. I've been living overseas and following him around. Neither of us have seen half of America. So it was a refreshing time. We call it like our year of Jubilee. And we went around and explored and decided to regroup and, see where the cards land. And even if you go to my website, it says, we'll figure it out. When we left the neighborhood, when they said, mask up, stay in your house, don't move. And people are like, you're packing your van with, a little 24-foot and leaving? Yep, we're leaving. Where are you going? We don't know. What are you going to do? We'll figure it out. So that's the military lifestyle. That's definitely made us a resilient community. I call myself Semper Gumby wife. Semper Fi. That was my signature for years because, we pretty much are the CEOs or COs of the household when the guys are gone. So I would sign everything Semper Gumby wife, always flexible, always, always ready for change and, being able to thrive in that change.
One of the things that I know from the past, and many of these people who are reaching out and wanting help, they've got into the different military bars that cater to them. They've gone to the VA and gone to sessions, and I'm just going to say it. There's so many bullshitters out there that want to take that opportunity to set themselves on a pedestal and talk about what they did. They did this, they did that. And, they were a mechanic here in the States that didn't ever even see action. So, do you have any ground rules that you're going to encourage your attendees to live by? We're just running out of time here, so let's
Yeah.
what are your ground rules?
Well, first of all, that it's going to be a safe container when we get together. We want people to have authenticity and feel safe, that they can share and not be reprimanded. No, bullying, none of that. So really it's just having that authenticity and being open-minded. You have to be open-minded. If you're going to come to these events with a fixed mindset, maybe you need to work on yourself a little more, because life coaching is also all about being open-minded, seeing different perspectives. So the ground rules, be authentic, come with an open mind, and we'll figure it out.
do it as you go along. Well, that those are the type of groups that I have gotten the most out of, is where it's open-minded and you don't focus on the whiners that whine every single time.
No whining,
and
like
the ones that sit on the pedestal and tell a bunch of fibs. So what you have is what I have truly gotten the most out of in my life. So I hope that people in our community are listening up. Vanessa, we're going to have you back on the show. You guys, send me an email, rewatch the video, register for the event. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Military Heritage Museum. You guys are awesome.
Act right now. We are here and make a difference. We are here.